Hey YouTube, today I'm going to share the story of Ed Wood's storage trunk. So I was a fan of Ed Wood for years, ever since reading the book Son of Golden Turkey Awards. I was reading this newspaper called Movie Collector's World, and I saw a quarter-page ad, I think it was, talking about Edward D. Wood Jr. Storage trunk with scrapbooks and photos and autographs and all kinds of interesting things. So I called the guy up, and his name's Rick or something, and he tells me this story about how he found this trunk in a antique mall. So he tells me that the trunk contains 3 autographed photos of Tor Johnson. Very rare autograph. Plus 2 Ed Wood autographs. One of them is a signed photo, and another one is an original program for the play Casual Company that was signed by Ed and the rest of the crew back when Ed was in the military. He told me about some scrapbooks that were in the trunk, Ed's writing credits to include the titles of a lot of his adult short stories. And this was at a time when people were going through these adult magazines trying to figure out which short stories were written by Ed Wood under different pseudonyms. He would write a short story for an adult magazine, and they would credit the article to, or the story to, Angora, or Dick Trent, or Norman Bates, any one of these different pseudonyms. He also described a press book for Plan 9 from Outer Space, where Ed did a cut and paste job on the press book to emphasize that it was Bela Lugosi's last movie or screen appearance. He also had Ed's monogram briefcase and a suitcase. Also, Ed Wood's autograph collection and some really cool photos. So I need to know more. I need to see what's in this trunk. So he agrees to send me some copies. And the copies arrive in the mail, and, really impressive stuff. I wish there was more Lugosi stuff. It wasn't until later that I've discovered that Ed Wood sold his Lugosi autographs and a lot of his Lugosi photos from Glen or Glenda to a shop on Hollywood Boulevard when he needed some money. So I asked Rick how much he wants for the trunk, and he says, well, maybe about $5,000. And, that's a lot of money. I was just a low-ranking soldier in the Army. I definitely had to save up to get that. So the trunk was located out in Southern California at the time, and my in-laws were about an hour's drive from there, so I knew eventually I'd get a chance to visit them and sneak out there and go take a look at the trunk. So when I saw the trunk in person, it was very impressive. Unfortunately, Rick now wanted $10,000 for the trunk, possibly as high as $12,000 or $15,000. Yeah, we both agreed that it was a one-of-a-kind piece of Ed Wood history, but agreeing on a price was difficult. Rick wanted the trunk to stay complete, but I did manage to convince him to sell me a couple of duplicate items from the trunk. I was able to purchase a photo and a herald from Kenny Duncan. 2 11x14 lobby cards from Jailbait. My friend Harry Thomas did the makeup for that movie. A couple of heralds from The Sinister Urge and Glen or Glenda. Plus a copy of Ed Wood's writing credits. Fast forward a couple of years, and then Rick sells the trunk to a nice couple out on the East Coast. They invite me out to their home to see the trunk again. Later, they tell me that Vampira had seen the trunk, and a friend of mine, Greg, knew Vampira, was in touch with her all the time. So they paid her $100 to write a letter of opinion stating that she believed the trunk was authentic. I was also asked to write a similar letter, which I did. Jim and his wife Merlin were really sweet people. They were retired teachers. They had the most amazing collection of autographs, and the Ed Wood trunk and all of its contents were beautifully displayed in their home. And that's the story of Ed Wood's storage trunk. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe.